Today we're talking about the 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace. Now, this may sound like a familiar title because it's really based on the 5 love languages, which is a book that came out many years ago. Gary Chapman and Paul White have updated the details of the book to apply to the workplace. So is this really a game changer in the workplace? And is it actually necessary? Let's talk about that as we go through this book and what I learned from the book. The reason this may matter and may actually be a game changer for your workplace is because the way people receive appreciation is completely different. And I've seen this in my own company. So let's go through some of these types of appreciation and talk a little bit about it. And then we can make a decision on whether or not this book is worth the read. So right away, appreciation language number 1 is words of affirmation. So it's the way you say things to people that you appreciate them. Some people love hearing it. When you say, I appreciate you, and use very specific ways of communicating that you appreciate something they've done, it means a lot to them. Appreciation language number 2 is quality time. In the workplace, what does this look like? Well, when somebody has a question, you actually stop and give them the time that they need to address that question, and maybe they want to tell you about their weekend and you stop and listen to them. That matters. Appreciation language number 3 is acts of service. How can you help this person in the workplace? How can you serve them? Appreciation language number 4, tangible gifts. Now this one's unique because tangible gifts can be hard in a workplace because you don't want to just hand out stuff to some people and not others. But tangible gifts goes beyond that. Maybe you went to a conference and there were lots of giveaways. You know, those little trinkets that you put in your bag, you take home and eventually throw away because they're not very useful. Somebody who likes tangible gifts and receives appreciation that way loves it when you think about them when you go to that conference and pick up a few little things and give it specifically to them. And then the last one, appreciation language number 5, is physical touch. And we've so often been told physical touch has no place in the workplace. So is it true? It's interesting to hear what Gary Chapman and Paul White have to say about that. So why is any of this important? I mean, these are all just different ways of communicating appreciation. Can't you just let somebody know that because they have a job, they're appreciated? Because they get a paycheck or maybe even a bonus? Not really. What's crazy is you could offer the best bonuses in the world, but to somebody who doesn't receive appreciation through a bonus, you really just wasted your money. They didn't receive it as appreciation. They really didn't care that much. Sure, everybody could use a few extra bucks, but if those few extra dollars didn't move the needle at all as far as them feeling like they're valued, then it really didn't do anything. It really didn't have the desired effect. So finding the things that make employees feel like they belong in the workplace, feel like they matter in the workplace, that's important. So step number 1, really, and the book goes through this, is identify what your appreciation language is. How do you receive appreciation? That will give you some insight to look back at how you felt valued by previous bosses or even current bosses, depending on your work situation. It will also show you how you're valued or not valued by people that you work with, or at least how you feel like you're valued and not valued by people you work with. The next step is identify those you work with. What is their appreciation language? By doing this, you will be able to be more aware of what makes them feel valued. It's probably not money most of the time that makes them feel valued. Some people are motivated by money, but some people are not motivated by money. So knowing what makes them feel appreciated, and it's not just about motivating somebody to get something out of them. When we go to work, we want a sense of purpose and we want to be valued. So when we can communicate in their appreciation language, they understand they are valued and they feel like they matter. That is critical. We need to make sure people we work with and people who work for us feel valued. And that's where this book really changes the game. It helps you understand this. It helps you identify ways to make people feel valued. And when somebody feels valued, they also are less likely to leave your company, leave your organization, and go somewhere else. It also makes somebody go home happy, because when they feel appreciated at work, they had a good day, they go home happy, and they're happy to come back the next day. Work is no longer just something they do to get the paycheck, just a job job. It's actually something they like doing. So overall, I really do recommend that you read The 5 Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace, whether you manage people, whether you run a company, or if you manage nobody, to better understand those you work with and work around, and even to show your boss that you appreciate them. It is a great book. I will leave a link in the description so that you can pick up your copy. I highly recommend the paper copy, but an Audible copy would be just as good because you'll be able to learn the information in the book. Do me a favor, leave a comment down below whether or not you think this would be a good book for you to read and why. I'm really interested to hear your story and what matters to you.